But was it entertaining for you?
I think you did admirably, actually. You put a lot of doubt in the prosecution.
Just trying to install reasonable doubt.
But that last question, you asked one question too many, and I think you might have pissed off the JPs.
About
the
the tuning fork. Who's saying it's not relevant? Well, he's using his ears to the audible tone, and I actually have the 40 innocent 4K toning fork because I have my own radar detector. They're not used to someone like me. I've been challenging speeding tickets for 10 years. I've won 3 this month.
Peter Brock, who was my commanding officer through an office, he was saying he recognised you from Afghanistan.
Me?
Yeah.
I've never left New Zealand.
Haven't you?
No, never been out of the country.
He swore that you're the signals officer over there.
No.
Oh, okay.
Never left New Zealand. Timaru born and bred, and I've been in Auckland for 25 years.
Hey mate.
Not me.
Right,
no, that's all good.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
You're entitled to a free hearing.
Yeah, that's the only reason I do it.
Just in front of fucking J.
Yeah, JP's ridiculous. I had one in Judge Black and Judge Mathers in Auckland District Court in 2017. They ended up withdrawing by consent after 10 months and 4 hearings.
Good on you.
Just having fun. Thank you.
Recalling the matter of Mark King.
Constable, the defendant asked you a question in relation to a 250 metre distance in relation to laser enforcement.
Yes.
Could you tell the court your interpretation of that issue?
Am I able to refer to the manual that the defendant
I
provided?
think it's the manual that was handed up.
That is the manual that has already been entered into.
I have it. I'll have it right.
You have the manual with you?
No. I'll hand it.
You'll have it all.
Thank you.
Is there a particular page you will refer to, Constable?
Page 13.
Which? Just carry on.
So page 13 of the speed detection equipment operators manual for the NZ Police. So it's the radar site selection on page 13. This is in relation to a radar on a stationary mode, i.e. parked on the side of the road. Operational requirements. So this is, you must consider if your speed enforcement at the site also aligns with your local prevention strategies, example, outside schools and high crash areas. The next bit is an ideal site is straight for at least 250 metres, which is what the defendant was talking about. That says ideal, it's not mandatory, it's just an ideal setup.
You weren't stationary, were you?
No, the police vehicle was moving forward.
So how does that affect 250 metre option?
So, from my understanding, I was moving forward. There was a slight left-hand bend in the road, and the defendant was in the opposite lane, travelling towards me. So if that's the case, then this ideal site setup is not applicable.
Is there anything else in relation to that part of the manual that's relevant for this issue?
Further down it says you must ensure you consider the following, not within 250 metres of reduction in the speed limit. My interpretation of that is if there was if the speed was reducing, or the reduction was from 80 kilometres down to 60 kilometres per hour, that's not our situation. The defendant was travelling in a 60 into an 80, thus there wasn't a reduction in the speed limit, it was actually an increase in the speed limit. So I did see him within 250 metres, but it certainly wasn't in the reduction in the speed limit, it was actually an increase in the speed limit. And if that's the case, then this radar site selection isn't applicable either.
No further questions or issues?
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions? I don't have any questions. You may stand down, Constable. Thank you, Mr. King. I understand that you do not have any other witnesses, but yourself. You will be the witness, is that correct?
No, I won't be giving I won't be giving evidence myself today, Your Honour. Although I am wondering, do I not get to redirect in regards to what he's just stated on the stand?
No, that is the end of the evidence.
Oh, okay.
The prosecution witness, but you do have the opportunity to go into the witness box and present your evidence.
No, I do not wish to.
Or not.
Yeah.
You don't wish to present any evidence today?
Only what's already been submitted, Your Honour. The photographs and whatnot. Thank you.
Do we have any submissions to law? Prosecutor?
I'm pleased to submit that this is a straightforward matter in relation to the Land Transport Act, Section 40 and the 99 Regulations 3 and 4. The defendant was exceeding the speed limit. He was travelling 85 kilometres per hour in a 60 zone. He was lasered at that time by a qualified operator of a laser machine. The laser machine was also certified and complied with all the necessary legislation. The police would submit the case to be made on.
Thank you. Okay, do you have any submissions to law?
I'm not too sure what you mean by submissions to law.
What I'm asking for then is anything that you feel is very relevant to your case as a matter of law. So you would have heard that Sergeant, prosecution has mentioned the Land Transport Act, Section 40, and Section 3 and 4 of the 1999 regulations. So he's referring specifically to a part of the law that applies to your case.
Okay.
So if you have anything that is specifically in your defence, in the law.
I would, well, I'm not sure about the legal reference or the law reference, but I would say that the prosecution has not satisfied the elements of the case beyond a reasonable doubt. There's been no, beyond a reasonable doubt in regards to no evidence has been submitted that I was in a 60k area at the time of the measurement. All evidence shows I was in an 80k area the entire time. So that's where it would stand. The worst case scenario, I would submit that if I was doing 85 in an 80k area, I would be happy to accept a $30 ticket for 5k over, but certainly not 25 kilometres over. I've lived in that area for 25 years. I'm very well aware of the speed limits. So yeah, I've not seen any evidence other than his statement himself that it was in the 60k area. As far as what law to refer to, I'm sorry, I haven't got that off the top of my head at the moment. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Mr. King, as you will have seen, we've got a very busy court today, and therefore we're going to reserve the decision on your case. You've raised some important issues that we want to be sure that we get right. The prosecution has also raised a number of very important issues with respect to the law and how it applies to your particular case and the witness that has presented today. So you will be notified of our reserved decision once that is done, but we won't be dealing with that right now because we want to proceed with other matters before the court.
As the court wishes, Your Honour.
Court wishes.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.